let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. I posted a chart here of Goldman Sachs today. It's a weekly chart, and I received an award today from the Money Show. They had their big program these next 2 days, the November 10th and 11th, and Tom Hugard and I were sharing a show for today, and I started off the show, and I wanted to show the ABCD patterns here in Goldman Sachs, as you can see, and it showed the beautiful picture, and also the last number you're looking at there was a perfect 61% retracement of the high that we made, way back in November of last year. And there's where we stand with a beautiful ABCD pattern. And of course, I explained to them the sale came in at 468. And of course, then just without telling me, Mr. Powell didn't tell me they were going to make inflation a thing of the past today, which really surprised the heck out of me. Anyway, the stock gapped up at 72. And of course, the people that were in the room, in the chat room there at the Money Show, they sold it. And of course, it immediately went to 74 and 73. And they asked me what I would be risking on this. And I'd say, look, you take 3%. Well, 3% of a $400 stock is $12. And I said, that's too much. I said, I'd cut that down at least in half. So only risk about $8 at least, or $7. And of course, it went up and didn't get stopped out. It started to work a little bit, but it's still underwater a little bit. But boy, you can't ask for any better timing. It showed the beautiful ABCDs all through this thing on the weekly chart. And then today's the day that it gapped up. And speaking of gapping up, look at Treasury bonds, folks, up 400 points. Can you believe that? That's $4,000 in bonds. And we knew the rally was coming, and again they left me at the altar. And again, let me tell you another one. We had a buy order in on gold yesterday at 1705. It got to 1705.20, so it didn't get filled, and then rallied $60. So anyway, that's the way it is, today. But that's the way it goes. The crude oil worked out really good for us, and we had a nice 382, and that one worked out again, so that worked pretty good. But we did miss a couple of these we're not going to miss them all, but we're going to miss some of them. Now, just for kicks and giggles, I'm showing you what I'm doing now, just for fun. You can all get into your laughing gear and see what's going on. Anyway, here's what my advice was this morning in the E-mini S&P. I wanted to get this up here and show you what I was doing this morning. Not that it makes any difference or who cares. That I don't know. Anyway, I do know that Tim Bost will be our guest at the break. Now you can see here, we were looking for an ABCD up there at 39.35. Remember, folks, on the daily, the long-term daily, the ABCD 382 retracement of that whole move came in at 39.30. So we hit that. We took out those highs at 39.28, which I didn't think we could, but with news like this, why wouldn't it? My gosh, green lights everywhere. Don't ever lose, just keep buying. But that's what's happened. So here was my advice this morning. I said, look, if you're still bearish this market, what you want to do is wait for the market to rally up. Let's get up here. You'll be able to see that we took out those highs of the previous month, way back there when we had that big rally. And you'll see we did take that out. And I said, wait till this pattern has completed. Okay, that was at 39.35. Now, well, anyway, it doesn't make any difference. Anyway, that's what I'm looking at. So I said the best thing to do is to wait for that's hit, okay? And I haven't seen what's updated, so I'm just telling you what I'm looking at. So whether it means anything or not, here's the update of what I was looking at about 10 minutes ago. And I had said in the video about since early this morning when all this stuff happened, I said, wait for the market to make a top and then sell the first 382 retracement, and there it was, folks, at 39.17. I don't know where it's trading right now, but on that you got to risk about 20 points, but that's neither here nor there, so that's what we're going to be paying attention to as we look at some of these things, and that's where it's trading right now, is 39.17. So we're going to see if it's going to work. You have a 20-point stop on that, but you believe in these numbers and you believe in ABCDs, then that's what you have to do. So that's pretty much what we're looking at. The gold, silver, everything is green with the exception of corn, soybeans, and wheat. And that's because people have more money. They don't have to worry about food. They can take their Hawaiian trips because airline prices are going to go to a third of what they are now, or whatever they're saying on the news. So we'll see what's going on. I have one other thing that I remember from my trips into Mexico. One of my favorite Mexican words is cuidado, Q-U-I-A-D-O, cuidado, and that means danger. You know, remember, folks, whenever you're walking through a cow pasture, you got to be careful where you step, because if you step in the wrong stuff, it's going to be really hard to get that stuff off your shoes. So be really careful trading on these huge breakouts to the upside, because a lot of the times things change, or maybe they're not given to us in the right perspective. So that's what we're looking. Anyway, those are a few of the things that we're looking at today. I also talked about the stock of Apple, and I wanted to get it up here. It's one of the things that I mentioned on the video or on the program today when I was on with Tom. Thank God Tom was on, and he bailed me out with his humor and rhetoric, so it was really fun. But there's the chart of Apple, and I think we got to, I forget, some ridiculous number today. Last I saw it was 143 or something, so it's had one heck of a rally in here along with everything else. But this is a real good example of something that has happened that is going to change the way we are thinking about things. It's called the, what was John Galbraith said, change in economic thought is what he said. In other words, there's an event that pops out, could be this inflation thing, that yes, the inflation is over and it's on its way, to get back down to 3 or 4%. Well, I hope so, because the grocery stores are getting to be like banks anymore. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay, those are a few things. Now, the other thing that we want to talk about in just a second when we get back from the first break is I want to talk about the U.S. dollar, because that's where this thing really started. And we mentioned it yesterday, and we had some really nice pictures of where we thought the dollar index was going to go. And I wanted to show you that, because there is no way you should have been short the euro or the pound or anything related to Forex, because you had such lower expectations in the dollar. So lower dollar means higher, euros, and that's exactly what happened. That's why the dollar being weak makes gold very strong. That's why we tried to buy it at 1705. But that's neither here nor there. We're going to take a few breaks, take a break here, and then we'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kegstad's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kegstad breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, we're back, folks, and a lucky camper has been able to get through. I don't know how he did it, but our friend from Austin, Texas is on the line. What's up, Bubba?
Hey, Larry, thank you for taking my call. I just wanted to ask you on the natural gas, what do you think? I don't want to look at UNG. I want to look at the futures. What do you see on the futures market, for natural gas?
Well, if you'll just give me 1 second, I will get that up here, and we'll be able to say it easily. What I'm going to do is look at the daily chart because it's getting so volatile now that we really need to look at it. But I'll be able to post this here in about 10 seconds. And I'll get this up here. And there it is right there. See, we had that really nice bottom. Then we rallied up. Now we're pulling back to a 61% retracement. So about another 20 cents lower in that natural gas. I'm going to have to take a look at it from the long side because
that's what I was thinking, and because we've had a pretty good sell-off in that, and then it's kind of bounced around. But to me, it looks like some kind of a maybe approaching some type of a bottom. And you're seeing the same type of thing?
Yes, we've made a bottom definitely down there at that when we went below 5, down around 480, I believe, when we hit the 786 retracement. And then that last high that we had was just a tad above the 382. So it's still in a very bearish format, but I'd like to see it come down with a nice pattern like an ABCD format. Then I'd have a really good place to look at it. But there's so many other things that look better than that I think I'm going to wait until I get a perfect setup in that natural gas because it's a wild son of a gun, as you can see from that chart. It can go all over the map real easily.
If you were looking for it to pull back, where would you want, if you're going to go long, where would you put your long and then your stop at? What
I'd be looking for the exact price now. Hold on with me a second, and I should be able to get it. I would be looking to go long about. We're trading at 604 right now, right around 5.60, down about another $4,000 or $400 anyway. That's what I would be looking for down in that area, and then putting your stop in at about 520. That's what I'd be looking. So being a buyer about 560, and if it gets below 520, I would say probably not going to work. But That's what I'd be watching.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for calling in. I really appreciate it. And I love your city. If I get down there, I'll buy you lunch. Okay, folks, let's take a look. We got another caller that was asking about the Treasury bonds. I want to bring this up so you'll be able to see it. Now, I know everybody's excited about it, but realize, oh, dear, that's not right. There it is. Here, hold on just a second. I think that's it. Okay, there it is. Now, this is a bear market, folks. Now, I know well, I don't know, but I was assuming we were going to get a very good rally. Well, we've rallied $5,000 off the last move, and as you can see here, that we're just making an ABCD pattern here right now, and there's your 382 off of the last 382. So don't get too excited about if thinking bonds are going back to 160 or 170. Nada. No. This is going to be a bear market rally. I mean, I thought it would be around 13 grand. It's already run 5 grand. So another 8 points or so is going to take you right up near that 382. So that's what I'm paying, really close attention to. Whether that is going to help or not, I don't know. But and nobody else does either, folks. Someone asked a question today on the Money Show that Tom Hugard and I were doing. And the question was, what do I see in the future? And both Tom and I both started laughing. Future? We don't care about the future. We live in the present. We don't know what's going to happen next, and nobody else does either. So why even worry about it? And that was the end of that question, because I don't know what the heck's going to happen. All I know is when I get to a point, I know how much I have to risk to see if I'm right, and that's all I'm interested in. And that's the name of that tune. So let's keep that in mind. Okay, now we're going to take a look at the dollar index. So bear with me here 1 second, and we'll get this up. This has been the key to what's been happening in these markets, folks. This is the key, because the dollar starting to weaken lightened up the inflation game. And as you can see here, now we've got this big ABCD here coming in on the dollar index. And we haven't seen one of these in over a year, folks. Well, there's been some corrections in here, but to see an ABCD like this, we haven't seen anything like this in a long time. So pay attention when we get down here, about another point or so in the dollar index around that 107, 106 level. We're going to be running into some really strong support. Whether that makes the stock market move up or down or not, I don't know. But you know what? Like I said before, nobody else does either. And that's the key to what you're looking at as you're watching these things unfold here today. That comes in at 128. That would mean the rally would have been $11,000 off the bottom, and I expected it to be around that. The last time we rallied in the Treasury bonds from 106, we were 129. We ran from 129 up to 145. We rallied $16,000 on that last big rally, and then we dropped from 145 down to 117. We dropped $27,000, folks. And we've been bearish this thing for a long time. This is the first time that we've been waiting for something significant to see if the market would move up. Our original buy was at 116.22. We never got there. Our low was 117.05. And that's the way it is. Like my grandma said, if you're looking for a pretty girl, always take 2 quarters when you get on the bus, because if the first girl doesn't like you, the second girl might just like you. So all you do is you find another trade, and that for us was being short crude oil for the first $5,000 down here of this move, of which we got a little bit more than half. So that's pretty much what we're paying attention to here this morning. Our guest is going to be Tim Boss, Financial Cycles Weekly. And but folks, this is 2 days past the solar eclipse, so it's still in vogue. This is the last day of influencing of the solar eclipse. Let's try it again, lunar eclipse. All I have to do is get up in the morning at 3 o'clock, and all the lights are on in the house, except that it's our skylight is so bright that the moon just lights up the whole house. So we don't have nighttime here anymore because the moon is so bright. But that's the way it goes. Okay, and I believe this, well, anyway, we'll move on to the next one because I know it's a blood moon, which is related to the harvest moon and stuff like that we have going on here right now. So this is you have to be really careful on these emotional days, folks. When you see the Dow Jones up 1,000 points and the NASDAQ up 7% in one day, people get involved in these really wild markets, and yeah, maybe they're going to be okay, but be really careful, folks, because what the Fed does and what they say are two different things, and I can attest to that. That's the way I see it, and I'm sticking to it. So anyway, we're going to have Tim Boss coming up here in a few minutes. Tomorrow's guest will be Stan Harley, the Harley Stock Market Letter, and that'll be a lot of fun too. So let's take a little break here, and then when we get back, we were going to talk to Mr. Tim Boss.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we're talking with Tim Boss, Financial Cycles Weekly. Tim, how are you doing today?
I am excellent, sir. How about you?
Oh, just loving this volatility. My goodness, these markets 1,000 points up, 1,000 points down. Just take your choice. What are you showing?
That's what it takes to get a trader out of bed, doesn't it?
I guess so. By the way, am I correct that we still could be in the influence of the lunar eclipse and full moon that we had on the 8th?
Absolutely. We had that back on Tuesday, a couple of days ago here. Seems like ancient history by now.
Sure.
But this is something that's going to continue to impact the markets for the next several weeks anyway. So we're really looking here at the solar eclipse that occurred 2 weeks before that with about a 6-month sphere of influence, and the lunar eclipse for about a month and a half, something like that. It's not the sole driving factor, but it is definitely something to pay attention to.
Okay, that sounds good. What else are you looking at today? You're going to tell us about Bitcoin, too, you said later, okay?
Yeah, let's talk about Bitcoin. I've
got a lot of
right
interest
now.
in that, yeah.
Because we've got all kinds of mayhem going on here in the cryptocurrency space right now, and I think it deserves a little extra attention. Typically, we talk about other market factors and then kind of save Bitcoin for dessert, but we're going to eat the dessert first today. So,
okay.
We need to take a look at this because it is very, very noteworthy, and some of the factors that we're looking at here are contributing to some pretty serious dynamics in the markets. And of course, we did our book a couple of years ago, Bitcoin Astrology, with some essays there from some of our colleagues, as well as our own analysis. That's available from Amazon. If you're interested in looking at the astrological dynamics, this is a good starting point. And we're in the process of adding more material to this study because as the cryptocurrencies mature, then we get more market data to work with, and we can fine-tune our approach there. So right now, we are, in fact, in the middle of what I'm going to call a cryptocurrency crash because we have seen some pretty substantial moves here just over the last couple of days. So, we were talking last week a little bit about this lunar eclipse effect and some of that coming in. I have to confess, we did not do a detailed analysis on the lunar eclipse with the cryptocurrencies, but certainly that sets the stage here in many ways. And here's what we've had going on just between Monday and Wednesday of this week. So back on Monday the 7th through yesterday's trading action on Wednesday the 9th of November. During that time frame alone, for all these cryptocurrencies, we've seen some pretty strong selling action. Bitcoin's down 24.6%, Ethereum down 31.6%, Dogecoin, for those who are interested in that, it's 38.8%. Litecoin's down 31%. Cardano has done fairly well compared to some of the others. It's right in line with Bitcoin, down about 24.5%. And Polygon, which is the Matic, which is a good exchange dynamic kind of, it has a lot of usefulness, let's put it that way. But it's down almost 40% as well in just that 2-day range. So that's what has led me to label this as kind of a crash dynamic. It's not just Bitcoin, but cryptos across the entire space there have seen a lot of selling pressure here. Now, during the last 24 hours, or since yesterday's close, we've seen a good bit of a rebound going on in almost all of these markets. It looked like a strong buying opportunity for the longer-term bulls. So we want to pay attention just to this trend in general and look at what's been going on with it. The interesting thing about this is that there's a story behind this. It's not just a random market event. There are some fundamentals that we want to pay attention to in this whole dynamic. The first thing to understand is that there are two big exchanges where the bulk of cryptocurrency trading has been happening around the world, FTX and Binance. And so we can talk about the cryptocurrencies themselves, but where all the transactions take place has always been the vulnerable part of this entire trading space. And so we can see how well secured things are and the underwriting and so forth. But when it comes to the wheeling and dealing and what happens on the exchanges, this is where during past years there have been money misappropriated or stolen, or exchanges have gone belly up. Various things have happened to impact the fungibility of the cryptocurrencies and, of course, the whole trading environment as a whole. So this FTX was started by fellow named Sam Bankman-Fried. He's 30 years old now. Was born in 1992, I think January, February, early in the year of that year. So we're dealing with real youngsters here compared to guys like you and me, Larry. Anyway.
Hey Tim, do you know that he lost $9.5 billion in one day? That's the largest anyone has ever lost that much money in one day. And he was on Bloomberg, and he wasn't even concerned about it. He said, I still got 800 million left in him.
All right, yeah, he's down to about 9 million, 100 million. So he's got, he can kind of wheedle around with it. But no, it's interesting because in a relatively short period of time, he built up this exchange to handling about 30 billion or thereabouts on an annual basis. So it's very, very robust, a very big player. And then there's Binance. The fellow who started Binance is Changpeng Zhao, and to make that easier to pronounce, most Westerners refer to him as CZ instead. So
there you go.
But Binance, of course, has been a strong international presence, allowing various kinds of leverage in exchange propositions and margin and whatnot, all of which has created a great deal of instability and suspicion, and in fact, U.S. authorities kind of clamped down on Binance here a year or so ago, and it was no longer available to U.S. citizens, so they created a whole different version of it to work with the U.S. At any rate, there's a lot of rivalry between these two fellows, and CZ has been kind of discouraging, issuing discouraging words, shall we say, about FTX and its viability, and does it really have all the liquidity that it claims to, and is it handling things properly, and will it be inspected or investigated, et cetera, posting some of those discouraging words on Twitter, which created a great deal of controversy. And bottom line is, there was a big loss of confidence in FTX, essentially equivalent to a run on a bank. And so people are trying to withdraw currencies that they had on the exchange in massive numbers. It did, in fact, create a liquidity crisis. And the bottom line was that these fellows got together early in the week, and Sam said, hey, I'm in trouble here. Can you help me out? CZ says, okay, we'll look at this. And so we'll arrange for Binance to basically purchase FTX and take over the whole thing. So markets calmed down a little bit. And then yesterday morning, there was a statement from Binance saying, we decided not to do that. We looked at things here. It's a little bit shaky. So we're going to back out. And so that's what triggered an even deeper crash and sell-off across the markets. So it's kind of a soap opera story there, but we wanted to share a little bit of that because there are these fundamental things that happen behind the scenes, and if you're looking at these markets casually, you don't always recognize that.
Hey, stay tuned. We have Tim Bost on the line. We'll be right back from Financial Cycles Weekly.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD, Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Okay, we're back, folks, chatting with Tim Boss, Financial Cycles Weekly. You want to continue, Timothy?
Well, let's leave our two friends here behind that are heavily into this whole debacle that's going on in the crypto space. As we were talking ahead of the time today, you asked me a real important question, which is there more downside ahead? And I would say that the astro cycles at work here say yes. We're not done with this sell-off. Whether we see a sufficient rebound. Right now we've had almost a 50% retracement just in the last 8 or 10 hours here. So this market behaves normally, even if it's crazy. So, we're looking at that here. But one of the things that I've been looking at in this regard is a very, very important horoscope chart going back to 2008. We've got this set for November 2nd of 2008, and this was when this mysterious personage or group named Satoshi Nakamoto posted an idea of the creation of cryptocurrencies, and this is what became the birth of Bitcoin. This was right after Halloween there, and about 6 weeks after the big global financial collapse and the collapse of Lehman Brothers and so forth. So this was almost a response to all the craziness going on in the regular markets. And the big idea here was that we could have decentralized peer-to-peer exchange that could be validated through this new concept called the blockchain. And so this was a radical concept. It took another couple months for Bitcoin to actually come into existence and be traded. It was after the first of the year there, about 2 months later. But I've referred to this chart again and again, and it seems to be a real bellwether chart, not just for Bitcoin, but for cryptocurrencies in general. So in studying that, I've been able to identify some key points that help us understand what's going on in the markets right now. And in fact, in looking at some of these astro trigger dates relative to that specific chart, I've able to identify 2 dates that came into sharp focus here. One was back in May of this year, on the 7th of May, and then we had a repeat of that same astrological phenomenon just on Monday of this week, on the 7th of November. And so in looking at this, what we saw back in May, this was when the whole Luna currency proved to be not very sustainable, and some of the backups there fell through. And again, a big brouhaha about exchanges and how things were being promoted on exchanges. But that resulted in almost immediate drop of about 25%. And on average here, even with Bitcoin, we're seeing at least a 24% drop in the 2 days earlier this week. So there's a strong parallel in the behavior of the Bitcoin market with these astrological phenomena, and we are seeing this occurring again coming up here. So that's one of the things that we're focusing on. So let's try to get practical with all of this and look at some of the major considerations that we're confronting right now. This is a chart that we've used for some months now, and we keep updating it. And the big change here, is we're looking at the chart. We have our Venus and Chronos planetary price lines helping us define trends and key levels of support and resistance as well. And we believe that these are going to remain very, very relevant in our work here. Let's see, I think we've got to zoom in a little bit on that one. So what we've done is added a new lower level here with the Chronos line down at 14,870, and that's where we are looking at as a key support zone for Bitcoin. I put in there 15,682 and change. That was the low intraday yesterday in the trading. So you can see that short-term move to the downside. We didn't quite hit that support zone, but I would not be surprised to see it kiss that a little bit here before we get through the end of the week. There's a little bit of instability still resonant. And then what we're looking at, our former support zone, we're now pegging as resistance at 19,370. And you can see on the chart how strong that had been in defining a very, very confined trading range for Bitcoin. And so we believe that will have a lot of strength. And if we get a bold move above that back to the upside, that could be extremely bullish short term. But again, this is a short term prospect here. We look at the prices on an intraday basis, and in the time that we've been speaking, it's moved several hundred points. And so, that's kind of normal for the volatility that we're seeing in this market here. So our overall strategy looks like this. Now, if you're long-term bullish, if you specifically with Bitcoin, and full disclosure, I have a position in Bitcoin, have had for a number of years now. And it's a modest one, but I look at this as a buying opportunity because I want to accumulate for the longer term. It's not something I'm actively trading on a day-to-day basis. If you are trying to trade on a day-to-day basis, this remains a very, very treacherous market to be in, especially if you're looking at position trading. And again, with the kind of volatility we're seeing here, if you are a seasoned trader and like the excitement and want to do some intraday work, it's certainly something that you want to pay attention to here. There are all kinds of opportunities there, shall we say, and the normal rules apply in terms of money management and stop loss orders and so forth. And, be clear that you know what you're doing, and don't play with money you can't afford to lose, folks. So because you will do that in this market. However, again, based on our astrological work, we are looking for another big pullback coming up about 4 weeks from now. So when we see some of these cycles that we've been studying here repeating then, and we'll see how well they hold up. The way that we assess that between now and then is going to depend a lot on how the crypto markets do. But based on what we're seeing here, we believe there's a good probability of some downside pressure as well. One of the challenges that we face a lot in working with the crypto markets and in studying Bitcoin is that we don't have enough trading data, enough historical data to really be certain about some of our evaluations and our forecasts here. And of course, the longer this lasts, the more data we get and the more fine-tuned we can make things. So we have to throw that caveat in. We're flying by the seat of our pants a whole lot here. But as we do so, we're observing some interesting landmarks along the way that I think can help us be more appropriately positioned. So the bottom line is, it depends on your trading strategy personally. This is not an encouragement to buy or sell anything here, but certainly take a look at it.
Hey, stay tuned. We'll be back with Tim Boss, Financial Cycles Weekly, folks. 877-927-6648.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Okay, we're back, folks, with Tim Boss, Financial Cycles Weekly. And Tim, do you have any webinars coming up?
We do indeed. In fact, we're going to do a special webinar here on Bitcoin and this whole cryptocurrency space. I wanted to remind you as well that we have this book available on Amazon. One of the reasons I mention this is because the book includes about 50 different horoscope charts for key events in the history of Bitcoin, especially during those early years. And some of those were the collapse of key exchanges and things of that sort. So it's worth getting that longer-term perspective. But to join our webinar, just reach out to us here at bit.ly/TimLarryP. Everything's lowercase except those name initials. T, L, and P are capitalized. That is a case-sensitive address there. So type that in to your browser. It'll connect you with a page where you can sign up, and we'll give you notifications on all of our events. But we are doing a special free webinar on the Bitcoin experience here, so be sure to connect with us today so we can get your name on that sign-up list and get you connected with that live event. And so when we take a look at that, we'll be able to go into a little bit more depth about some of these factors that we mentioned earlier as we study these astrological dynamics and begin to correlate them with key turns in the markets in the past. Then it gives us a better way of projecting some of the future trends with the cryptos, and especially with Bitcoin. We'll be doing a deep dive with that in this free webinar we got coming up.
Hey, listen, thanks for joining us, my friend, and we're going to have you on again soon, so stay dry down there. Don't get any more hurricane.
Well,
you got just
we've got
a little
the storm
wind and
coming
stuff.
through today. I'm seeing the rain hitting the windows right now. But
shut the front door and raise the rent. Hopefully it won't be as bad as the last time.
That's why we can be preoccupied with the markets and pretend it's not going on. Have a great day, Larry.
All right, thank you, folks.
Bye-bye.
Hey, we'll see you tomorrow. Have Stan Harley as our guest. Live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.